Okay, so if you saw the test that we just did, or Traci just tried to do in live, we weren't able to go live with two hosts. We thought we would, and Facebook told us that we would, and there were buttons for it, but it didn't work. And that's why we tested it out an hour before. How much fun was that, Traci?
It was interesting, that's
It
for
was,
sure.
but we came prepared for this. You are watching a recording that an hour ago, half an hour ago, we were like, all right, plan B. Let's record it on Zoom, and then we will post it at 11 o'clock. And we will be live watching the video with you at 11 o'clock. So we'll be live in the comments. So we'll actually be able to respond to your comments in the comments in real time. So as you're watching this at 11 o'clock Eastern time or 10 o'clock Central, wherever you are in the world, we're also watching it, at least for the first time, with you. We will be here. So this is the MS Rebellion workshop Shift Happens. Today's topic is, ready? The body that won't heal and why that makes sense. We're going to be live Monday through Thursday this week at this time. Now, when I say live, there are air quotes around that. We're going to be live.
Right? Maybe we'll figure it out, right, Jeanene? Or someone in this community is smarter than we are and can tell us how to go live together.
That would be wonderful if someone can say, hey, girls, this is how you actually do it. Yeah, you did it all wrong. That would be great. And maybe we will figure it out. Yeah, thank you for that. But in the meantime, we're going to go with plan B. And so that's what this is. So the workshop this week will be Monday through Friday. Now, to make this a lot more fun for everybody, we're going to have homework questions. And are you thinking homework? You just said fun. Why did you say homework after fun? because there's going to be money involved. That's the fun part. So everyone who comments on the homework post with the answer to the homework question, you're going to be entered into a drawing. And then tomorrow when we start, you'll see the basket of entries. I literally print out everything off of Facebook, cut it out, fold it up, and we'll pull one out. That person's going to win a $20 gift certificate to Amazon.
Woohoo!
You know what I wanted to ask you, Traci? What was the last thing you bought from Amazon?
Well, it's coming today because I got a new iPhone, a charger. And then I
So
left
boring.
my mom yesterday bought 2 things of mustard.
From Amazon? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Mine was a lemon squeezer. I'm always talking about the
Oh,
water, right? So I'm always buying lemon squeezers because I'm always breaking them. So I finally,
oh.
good one, I swear. I'm like $20 for a lemon squeezer. But this thing is KitchenAid and it has a little strainer for the seeds. Anyway,
Nice.
guys, you have an opportunity to win $20 every day. So it's actually automatically going to be posted at 11:30 Eastern time, 10:30 Central time. So just go in there, comment. Tomorrow we'll pull a name. Now there's also going to be a grand prize on the last day, which is Thursday. There's going to be a grand prize winner plus a homework winner, another $20 winner. But the grand prize, I'm going to take all the homework entries, put them into a basket, pull a name, and that person's going to win a 1-year full membership into the MS Rebellion, which is over $1,000 value. I know. And, it's funny. Every single time I pick a name, it's always the most perfect person who needed it at that time, who couldn't afford it at that time. So that's why I think we will always do that. All right, so let's get right into it. Shift happens. We call this workshop Shift Happens because listen, we couldn't say shit happens. So we're like, all right, let's be a little bit more spiritual and say shift happens. The reason why we outlined the workshop the way we did is because we understand where you're coming from. Traci and I have both healed from multiple sclerosis. We had all the symptoms, wheelchair, cane. Traci, were you wheelchair, cane, or both?
Actually, neither. I was told I was going to be in a wheelchair, but I was unsteady, but I was too stubborn to take anything.
That's the key, Traci. That's the key. I always wondered, I was doing okay up until they scared the shit out of me and said, oh, Jeanene, your MS, it's right next to your optic nerve. If you don't get on the medication now, you're going to end up blind. And then there's nothing that we can do for you. So I'm like, sign me up. Where do we do this? And it was only after a year of being on the medication that I ended up in the wheelchair and needing the cane. So, but you knew from the beginning. That's what I was going to ask you. So I have a bunch of questions I'm going to ask you. I'm going to try to stay in order so we stay on time because we're trying to keep this down to a half an hour. Anyway, all right. So before I get into that, I wanted to ask you, What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding women with MS have about what's actually happening inside their body?
Well, I would say this is a unpopular opinion that might really piss some people off, but we're here
Usually
because
does.
we want to shift, right? Most, I'm going to say most people diagnosed with it think that it's purely a physical thing because it feels physical, but it is not. They think that changing food and exercising differently and supplements is going to fix them. And that is can be very important, but is a microscopic piece of the whole puzzle.
Well put, microscopic piece. Because we're not going to say, oh, don't even bother. Of course, any human needs to eat healthy, any human needs to get shit out of their body. But you're right, when it comes to healing multiple sclerosis or any chronic illness, it's the microscopic piece. So the bigger piece, because I was in there for years, I was like, okay, I'm doing the supplements. I've got the dairy free, the gluten free. Where the fuck was my right leg still not moving? And it wasn't until, and I didn't know this until I had hindsight, it wasn't until I started understanding what I truly wanted and where I felt like I was stuck in my life.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was same boat. I mean, I went right to nutrition. Okay. Well, I mean, I did. We all have. Obviously, there's very likely something disharmonious in your body. And I won't get too deep now, but it's the terrain. It's the terrain of your body. And if that isn't clean, you're going to have a backlog of issues. Things start backing up. And I don't mean, well, it could be literal, but I just mean that when one gear wheel is broken, the other one starts to dismantle or break down also. So that nutrition piece, while yes, like Jeanene said, it is super important to eat well. It just looks different for everyone because you have to know what is happening in your body based on what you're eating. And that is kind of more of it's an outer layer piece. It's like the skin of your body, but there's so much more inside your body that needs to be addressed. So it's that concept of, okay, here's a thin layer that you can control right now. Now let's get into the nitty gritty of it. Let's get into the really deep shifting pieces that are going to move the needle.
Right now, so I'm sure everyone's wondering, well, what are the deep pieces? Tell me. You're going to see by the end of this 30 minutes, you know what the pieces are. You feel it. You have a knowing of, oh yeah, I did feel that way. I had a woman call me the other day, and she's telling my first, I'm like, tell me about your symptoms. So she tells me about her symptoms. She's feeling my body feels stuck. My body feels like it won't move forward. My body just is so tired by the end of the day. And I asked her, I said, forget physical symptoms for just a minute. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like in life that you are stuck, that you just can't go on any further, and that by the end of the day, you have nothing left for anybody else? She's like, oh my God, how did you know that? I said, because you just told me. You just told me with your symptoms. Your symptoms are trying to communicate to you what's going on in here. Okay, so the next question is, oh, it's funny. Do you remember a client who completely changed the way they looked at their symptoms? And that's when the shift happened. I should have asked, and did a shift happen? Should have been a little bit more, yeah, okay. Completely changed the way they
Yes.
looked at their symptoms,
Yeah.
and did a shift happen after that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, I held a 5-day retreat. And so, like Jeanene said in the beginning, this is not just MS related, but because we were both diagnosed, this is, our forte. But I had these women on this retreat who, because we talked about the nitty gritty, didn't know details yet, but when they saw the deeper pieces, because at some point you could say, screw whatever we're eating, screw like it literally doesn't matter to a degree. It is the interior process. And so when these women saw that it was like light bulbs went off, their whole world changed. I had a woman, and this is no exaggeration, because this was her words. She grew up with her mom, like the food thing was a huge issue for her. And if her mom made her eat something as a young child and she threw it up, her mom would make her eat the throw up. So disgusting. Yeah. I mean, she was very traumatized with food. So the only thing, she's about 40 at the time. The only thing she had been eating was like pretzels and I don't like four things. She couldn't eat anything. And I had a vegan chef at the retreat making all these beautiful meals, like outstanding meals. She was mortified by almost all of it. But by the end of the retreat, the fourth and fifth day, she was eating everything. And she goes, "You have no idea. I haven't eaten any of this in decades because of the trauma." And so her whole world had opened up and all of them. And so this is what happens, and I see it in the MS world. It's like when you see how you have been stifled mentally, emotionally, physically, it creates shifts in you that don't allow you to grow and expand. But once you have that veil lifted off, you can go, oh my God, now I see things for what they are. And so now I can change. I can change my internal environment to change my external reality.
I'm still on the vomit. I'm still on the eating of the vomit. What an awful story. I'm glad you shared it because we have no idea what everybody is walking through this planet going through. Wow. I hope that one day someone makes that mother eat her own vomit.
Yeah.
That poor girl. Thank you for that answer. And all right, you got me off track a little bit, so I'm going to go back to my questions. I wanted to add to that too, the perception, the perspective that we're taking on our symptoms, especially in the beginning when we're listening to all the external, all the doctors, all the WebMD, and they're all telling us our body's attacking. So we're in this world of there's something wrong with me, and then you're living from a place of fear. Oh no, I'm waiting for this symptom, and I'm constantly scanning my body waiting, is that a symptom, is that a flare, am I just tired today, or is that the beginning of a flare? And we get stuck in this pattern, and it is not until we have these conversations with women about what if your body wasn't attacking itself? What if the symptoms that you're feeling are feedback from your body, communication from your body, trying to tell you what it needs? Just like the girl yesterday, she called me and she actually called me looking for a job. She called me off of Google. She called me looking for a job, and turned out she has MS. And we just got into symptoms and talking about it. She goes, "This has changed my life because now I can see how my symptoms are mirroring exactly how I'm feeling on the inside about my life." So let me go on to the next question. When did you first start questioning the idea? After you were diagnosed, or maybe the day you were diagnosed, who knows? When did you first start questioning the idea that the body was attacking itself?
Wow. I will. So you guys can see this is not scripted. This is off the cuff because I have to think about this now. Um,
While you're thinking about it, I'll just tell them we tried scripts. We can't do scripts.
it's so bad. Okay. So I think it wasn't like one big aha moment. It was pieces leading up into that moment when, because I took Copaxone first, which is the daily shot, and I felt like absolute crap every day, and I had injection site pain and swelling. Um, I started questioning the narrative. Now, I was always already kind of questioning, but again, I was scared and I was doing what the doctor said and thought that was what you're supposed to do. And then after I took myself off of that, I
Oh,
started
you did
doing a
that
lot of
too.
research. And I think it was just starting to really understand that if the doctors don't know why you have it, there's no actual test one test to say that you have it. It's just like a conglomeration of symptoms, and they're like, well, this is what it looks like. And there's no cure for it. It told me they really don't know what it is. And so I started questioning, well, maybe it's not really what they're saying it is. Maybe it's truly something else designed to guide us toward healing because it's just a conglomeration of symptoms. It's a gathering of these baseline symptoms that most people with MS have. And so maybe I need to start looking at a different path because what the doctors are telling me, they literally don't know anything. So,
And they're telling me they don't know anything. It's not like
yeah,
I just think this.
right. So, yeah, they might be a neurologist, so they might understand it from a perspective of a textbook answer, but they really don't understand the human body. So I had to start unraveling, unlearning what they were telling me and what I thought I knew about the human body, and that's kind of where it started. So it was just kind of a slow roll out.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I didn't trust what I was hearing when I first got diagnosed because I didn't know what intuition was back then. So when I heard, Jeanene, looks like you have multiple sclerosis and your body's attacking itself. And then he went into explaining everything. Before I went numb, like mentally numb, I can't say if I heard or it's something I heard. No, I don't. And I'm like, who the hell are you? Jeanene, why are you being so arrogant? Like, stop it. What do you know? I didn't pay attention to that at all. And then as time went on, I started, like we all do, you go to Google and you just read all the horrible things. And I kept hearing, that's not true. That's not true. And I'm like, Jeanene, you need to accept this. I thought I was just in denial. You just need to accept that this is it. And I stayed there for a number of years. But then I was getting to the point where I finally went to the neurologist and I said, Dr. Ravel, I can't live like this. There's got to be something I can do. Like, what if I change the way I eat? I've been reading about that. Is that going to help anything? And he goes, Jeanene, no matter what you put in your body, nothing is going to make your disease any better or worse. So go eat whatever you want to eat. Try it. It's not going to make a difference. And I heard the same thing. That's not true. And it was in that moment I think I went, I should maybe listen to that voice. Like, what? I keep hearing that. That's not true. And then for me, I had a moment that my I snapped. I snapped. It was a time when my arms and my legs, it was probably right after that appointment. I further declined into my arms and my legs not moving. All four of them were filled with cement. So here I was in this chair in my living room. And my then husband said, I'm gonna walk down to 7-Eleven. I'll be right back. And I'm like, you don't, oh my God, don't leave me. We had a 2-year-old and she was sitting on the little blanket in front of me. There was the chair, the coffee table, and then she's sitting on the blanket. I'm like, oh my God, take her with you. You don't leave me here with her. And he goes, oh my God, she's fine. She hasn't moved. She's not gonna move. I'll be back, but she won't even know I'm gone. And what am I going to say? He's taking care of everything. The poor man's carrying me to the bathroom and using the toilet paper for me. I'm like, go. Yeah, no, of course, go. So he's not even out the door 2 seconds. And she gets up and goes to show me a toy, trips on the area rug, hits her head. And you know the scream that kids have where nothing comes out, like no sound comes out, but that. So she finally starts to scream. I try to make my way to her by like sliding off the chair. I didn't get there, but she got to me. And she's wrapping her little arms around my neck and she's saying, Mama, please, Mama, please. And that was her way of saying, Mama, please. And I kept thinking, she's thinking, Mama, please help me. Please help me. And I felt completely useless. And I snapped. I went, that's it. I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore. That was my turning point. It was, like you said, a buildup of your body's not attacking itself. That's not true. And then Julie falling in front of me. And like I said, she's 2. She is 20 and she's heading off to college, Pratt University. She's transferring in August. So that's how long
Obviously, the head injury didn't damage anything. That's
well,
good.
she's good.
Oh,
She's
poor
smart. She's an art student, very creative. Who knows if that knocked it into her? But She doesn't remember that. She's like, Mom, of course I don't remember that. I was 2 years old, but I relive it like it was yesterday. So you're right. I think it's different for everybody. And it's not, and knowing that, oh, this is what I need to do. It's more of, like you said, it slowly evolves into, I can't ignore this anymore. My body, it doesn't feel right when people say my body's attacking itself. And you said before, when I took myself off the meds. Yeah, I also did that too. But I just want to say for the audience, please don't do that. We don't recommend that. And just because we're saying that we did it doesn't mean that we recommend that you do it. We can't say get off your medication. We're just telling you what our story is. So now that that disclaimer is out there,
Disclaimer.
it's done. All right. The You said the conglomerate of symptoms. Take the conglomerate of symptoms. Doc, I have this. My right leg is numb. I'm dizzy all the fucking time. I can't keep two thoughts together. I don't have any feeling in my toes or in my fingertips. You take all of these symptoms. I'm tired all the fucking time. I don't understand. I don't even feel like
My
I'm doing it.
bladder. I get bladder. I see bladder all the time.
Right.
Wow.
I have to pee. I feel like I have to pee so bad, and yet nothing comes out, but it gets me out of bed at night. But yet I sit there and I'm like, what the fuck, really, for that? So we have all of these symptoms that we take to the doctor. And then the doctor goes, yeah, we don't know why your body's doing that. That's when I started looking into, I'm like, why? Like a toddler. But why? Why don't you know? What do you mean you don't know? Can't you see? You just said you gave me all of these tests. Where does it say this is the reason? And that's when I learned about the differential diagnosis. All of those tests have to come back clear. All of the tests have to come. Guys, if you're hearing that for the first time, I'm really sorry. All of the tests come back clear. Your blood test is clean, your spinal tap is clean, and the MRI, if it shows lesions, what they don't tell you is that everybody has lesions on their brain and or spinal column. Everybody has lesions. Just not everybody gets spinal MRIs. So the differential diagnosis, there's nothing wrong with your body that we can see on these tests. But yet here are all these symptoms. And so the doctors go, what do they say? Oh, yeah. Oh, we call that something. We know what that is. Yeah, that's called multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
We gave it a real fancy name, multiple scars.
Scars on
Scars
the brain.
is
Yeah.
just the name of lesions is just a scary name for scars.
Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing in our body that points to this is what's wrong with you. And now people say, well, what about, they say your body's attacking itself. Well, they're already putting out there mainstream. It's attacking a virus. It's always been attacking a virus. All right. So the next question I wanted to ask you, what's something you believed about healing 5 years ago that you don't believe anymore?
Oh,
I
I
know
like
there's so
this one.
many.
Well, see, I'll keep it to there's probably many, but I will keep it to this one. And it's probably this definitely happened more than 5 years ago, but I think a lot of people can relate to this in that because something worked for me or for Jeanene doesn't mean it's going to work for you, in particular, the type of diet you follow.
Oh,
Some
that's a
people
good one.
swear do intermittent fasting. Other people swear you have to eat paleo, keto, oh my gosh, I've gotten in so many arguments with people, not because I want to argue, but because they think their way is the only way. And let me tell you, we are all so individual. We are in different stages of life, different environments, different stress levels. And within your own journey, you may change your diet, and I call diet like what you're eating, your plan of eating 100 times because of where you're at in your journey. Just like when a woman gets pregnant, there's certain things she can't eat. She's going to be craving other things because her body's needing these nutrients. You're going to be in, different decades of life, different um, seasons, like literal seasons, spring, summer, winter, fall. There is no one way that appeases to everybody. And so what I will say is I was a fitness and nutrition coach for a long time, and I wasn't really hardcore anything, but I did go through different trends and phases of what I thought was kind of better. Nothing is perfect. You must find your own way. Don't let anybody tell you that it's only this way, because if they are a charlatan and they really don't know what they're talking about. Nutrition is one of the most complex topics ever on this planet. And I will die on that hill. There is not one nutrition expert that knows everything. I promise you, it is way, way, way too complex. And so if you're looking to heal, you have to go into what Jeanene has already talked about, and that is intuition. And that is really on a daily basis. If you're sick, let's say you get the flu, you're going to need chicken soup and warming foods. But then when you're not sick, you might need salad, or you might need, well, whatever. It can't
Fruit and
always be the
smoothies.
same.
Right. And everyone's different. And that's such a great point. And anyone who has ever healed themselves from a chronic illness will say that. I haven't ran into one person who healed themselves from a chronic illness like this, an autoimmune disease, and said, oh, yeah, this is the only way to do it. Because they've been on this journey and they know everyone is different. And even for us, it's been different. What worked for me 10 years ago is very different than what worked for me 5 years
Mhm.
ago. And I'm eating completely differently today than I was when I was healing. And I will continue to evolve. Now, if we want to get this out at 11 o'clock on time,
Yes,
Traci, because I have one more question, but I'm only going to give you 3 minutes so that we have time to
got
download and
it.
upload into Facebook.
Got it.
Okay. What is something you've seen over and over again that makes women believe their body is working against them when that's not actually what's happening at all?
Um, Doctors telling them that there's nothing they can do and all their tests are normal. And so when they tell me that um, they are struggling with a specific issue and their doctor's like, there's nothing we can do, and then they believe that, that is blocking their ability to heal. That is not true.
Right. And I'll add on to that. I have found that when the body starts to speak up and tells you, hey, this is where I'm struggling, if we're not able to translate that, we go right into fear, thinking that we're getting worse. And then the downward spiral begins. Where when that same thing can happen, when you've learned how to translate what your body is trying to communicate to you, you go, oh, yeah, you know what? I do need to speak up. I do need to rest. I do need to follow what my heart is telling me to do, even though my brain's going, you should, you should, you should. When two people are faced with the exact same symptom and one person goes into fear and, oh no, I'm getting worse, they're going to continue to get worse. And that other person goes, oh, I know what this means. This means I need to rest. I would love to go into how that worked out for me this weekend when I thought, oh shit, workshop week, I'm getting sick. Oh no. We'll talk about more that tomorrow. So there's going to be a post at 11:30 with the homework question, and I wrote them down because there's 5 of them. All right, today's question is, what is one thing your body could be trying to protect you from right now in your life? If your symptoms were communication from your body, what is the one thing your body could be trying to protect you from? And I think you're going to be surprised at what your heart tells you. And be brave enough to put the answer that comes from your heart and not from your head.
Love it.
All right. We're going to have a lot more time tomorrow because we're going to start earlier tomorrow because we don't have to do all the technology testing tomorrow. So we're going to go now. We're going to upload this and Facebook. If you're watching it, we are in the comments. We're live watching it with you. So go ahead and we can answer back your questions. All right. Now I'm just talking too fast. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.